How's that for you?
Oi. It's God. That's what I sound like.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's just how. That's
I
just how.
sound like a younger version of me. What's going on? That was the best bit. You should have recorded that.
It is already started.
Oh, shit. Okay. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, I know. It's alright. I know. Yeah, I started like 4
You
minutes ago.
never told me that.
Why would I tell you? Because you're going to get Spotify now. Right, that is for you.
This is a short one, isn't it? Sorry, anyway.
That's what she said. That's for you.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's a happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas, yeah.
You know how we usually say that out of context?
Do you know what
Now we actually can say it out of context.
You might as well keep it for this year.
Yeah. It will still be relevant, so that's fine.
It could be that Top Man voucher I've been waiting for.
That's still so savage with them.
Oh, well, we walked past the shop and it's empty.
Yeah.
All the fittings have been done with. Oh, thanks. Fuck me. Thank you.
I think this brings me too much joy, the fact that I fucking did that.
It does, yeah. Funny enough, I did one like this for Kim. For
Was she wearing a hat?
For Valentine's Day. No, she wasn't. I have got one with her wearing a hat.
Yeah.
But you can still see her face, so never mind.
That's
very good.
It's the beauty of having the mask now.
It is, yes. But I've got her masks with her name on it. So you still know who it is, even if she's got a mask.
Yeah, you can see, even if you're hiding
it's
from
her.
it. Yeah, you're like shit.
Let me get me coffee.
Well, as promised, I say it. Al, you're the best.
Thank you very much. Yes. Interview over. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, welcome back. I like the I like how I just out of the blue from nowhere I just got a text going, yeah, I'll get from you. You're like, you bit.
It was crotchety.
Yeah, crotchety. Yeah.
and that was between you and Richard. And I thought, well, thanks very much. I thought that was a bit much. Possibly true, but that's still a bit much.
You know, it's endearing. You know, it's like, I say it just because I love you.
It's like Hitler wasn't so bad.
You said it, not me.
His mother loved him.
Oh, I'd love to know, like, if his mother was still alive during this time. That's an interesting point, actually. I wonder if his mother would still be alive, or whether he was just like a real sweetheart to like his mum.
I don't know. That's a good question.
He didn't have any kids, did he?
No, because rumour had it that he was also gay. So even though he married Ava Brown, or Braun, whatever her name was.
Yeah, I don't know why I had Werner von Braun in my head. That's the NASA dude.
Is it?
He was part of. I can't remember the name of it, but he was part of after the Second World War. He was part of a group of like Nazi scientists that were taken.
By the Americans.
Yeah, and they were like, "We'll have you, and you're pretty good.
Yeah,
we're just gonna forget the fact you used to hang Jews outside
Hitler,
your."
Stand back.
Yeah. Wait over there.
All those who haven't tried to invade countries, step forward. You're okay. You stay where you are.
I remember learning about that in school, about the fucking Nuremberg trials, and it was either people dobbing them in or people just saying,
"Yeah, it was him."
Yeah.
Thank you. Next.
Yeah, they were like, "Yeah, cool. Do you want to check it? Nope, we've got all these ones to go through, mate. Come on, we've got to be home in time for tea."
Yeah, he wasn't putting his hand up to see if he could go to the toilet.
Yeah, he got the wrong one.
Yeah,
it was like, wrong. Oh shit, wrong time to ask to go to the loo. Bollocks.
What do we mean we invaded Austria? I live there. Anyway, yes. So how have you been?
Yeah, I've been all right, mate. I've been okay. It's been all good. It's been Louise is going back to work on Monday.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So I'm assuming I don't know, because she's a private school, so maybe they can work their own schedule. I don't know.
I think there is there has been a case for that anyway, but they reckon that schools might be going back by the 8th. Or the second week in March. But we'll learn more today about when or whether we're going to open up in the next. I'd like to think that halfway through or just after the schools we open up again.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Or at least they ease restrictions so we could have at least 6 people in store.
Yeah.
How that works out for us, I don't know. I don't know how have we got 6 people left for a start?
That's a good point. Yeah, I just wonder. I mean, it's like
and does it include staff? And if it does, there's sort of 6 of us in here.
Yeah.
6 people come in. 3. Everybody else has got to go out the back and say, "Help yourself."
We actually haven't got 6 people.
No, we haven't. I don't think we have.
No, we got 5.
Josh.
Yeah, including Josh.
Damien.
5. Yeah.
Carolina. Oh, you and
You
me.
and I, yeah. Live there.
Oh, yeah. Happy days.
It's weird thinking about like the days when you have a Saturday and there'd be like 11 of us, and you'd get a moment and be like, "This isn't enough people."
yeah, exactly.
We need more staff. You're like, the fuck? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
That's what we're here to do, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we've done Hitler.
Yeah. All right, who should we go on to here? Yeah, are we doing?
We've done the Nuremberg trial.
doing
and that's in the first 5 minutes.
All right, let's stay similar time frame. Yeah. So Mussolini.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a book.
Gifted dictator or just petulant child.
Yeah. Misunderstood child.
But I wanna.
I was someone listening to that was saying that Hitler, with his like most famous speeches, he was just on like a mixture of coke and speed, and the reason that Mussolini got into the war is because they were just like chatting at some point, and Mussolini was like, "Oh, what's this war thing you're doing then?" And he was like, "That's not really for me." Then apparently Hitler just yelled at him for like 2 hours, and he went, "All right, I'm in," because he was just on so much gear.
Was Mussolini Italian?
Yeah.
Right. No, I think he might have just said, "Yeah, the drugs he's using, we could do something about that."
Yeah.
100 years later, almost. Look, this is what we got.
What do you mean?
Everybody's using coke and stuff like that.
Oh,
that's the only reason he was with Hitler. He thought it was a good idea.
Oh, right.
The drugs he's on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If we put that across the world, we can take over without actually taking over.
Yeah, we don't have to do anything. Just say, look, you come over here, you get with the free stuff.
Yeah.
But I think because now you've got like Portugal and Sweden, I think they've legalized pretty much everything. Like if you're like a heroin addict, there's like a heroin center, so you just go to it and they give you a fix and you sit and watch it.
There was something. Who was it recently? Was it Norway legalized cannabis?
Could be.
It's only a few days ago, actually. Yeah, the joys of getting old.
Well,
I think there was something about Norway that. Oh no, sorry.
Sorry. You carry on. It'll only come time when it's only about enough time before it happens here.
Well, it already has. It's just we don't look at it.
What do you mean?
Well, we don't look at it. There is a drugs problem in this country. It always is.
Oh no, I meant the legalising weed.
Oh no, they won't do that.
You think?
Unless the government can tax it, they won't do it.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
But see, the problem is when you start legalising stuff like that, the people who supply it illegally then look for something else. So then you get something stronger in the black market than you do in the.
Don't bring race into this.
No, I'm so sorry. Okay, sorry. In the multicultural market.
Thank you.
then into the white supremacist market.
They are the most discerning customers.
They are. They hide it well. Look at Boris. Nobody would know he's on drugs, would you?
Well, I mean, he fucking has to be, and that's just to keep his hair in.
Yes, it's true. It's true. It takes 3 stylists to do that.
Or to make it look shit.
Yeah, make it look shit, and he pays them well.
That is a good racket.
It is.
That's a really good racket.
I'm just going to do your hair now. I'm just going to get a whisk.
Yeah.
There you go. Done.
It could actually be like it could be our modern interpretation of the
beehive.
Emperor's New Clothes. Yeah.
Emperor's New Clothes.
Emperor's New Clothes. It's Boris's new hair.
Yeah, you look great. Don't worry about it. Yeah,
Boris's new hair, and it's just like everyone's like.
You just want someone. I'm just going to use some hair lacquer. Yeah. And spray pink in the back of it.
Yeah.
Without telling him, unless he walks away. But why is his hair pink?
But no, he'll never see it. Yeah.
No, he will never. No.
Yeah. I don't know about pink or just like a single chunk just shaved right off the back. Just go, yeah, it looks great.
The little thing saying pull here.
Yeah.
Just right, pull here.
Oh, we could do that.
Tab.
We could add that. We could, like, if you were his tailor, you could just add all these different things to the back of his suits. So it would just be, he'd never know. As if we're walking past, just like, he wouldn't know why people were laughing. He'd just think, oh, I'm really funny.
No, just say, oh, they're laughing at me again.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know any difference.
Yeah, true. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, but how have you been keeping?
Oh, I'm all right, I think.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've chipped two teeth.
You've got to stop chewing wallpaper, mate. It's not good for you.
Yeah. It's
else to stop curb stomping yourself.
Yeah. So I've chipped 2 teeth. My eyesight has suffered a bit, I think, with all this lockdown.
You've been working?
I have been working, not on massive things. I mean, Richard still wants me to do is
the apron thing.
The apron thing. I don't know if I really. It's funny when I'm working. When we're in the shop and we're working, I'll take on business, too much business. Kim says, because when I get home, that's what I do. But now that I've got this time and I could sit down and do a project, I haven't got the inclination to do it. So it's really strange. I could quite easily do that in a couple of days. But I'm sitting there going, I don't know. Really don't know. And it's just the motivation in this situation. Because at the moment I've got Kim who lost a job as well as being furloughed. She was furloughed, lost a job. Now she's unemployed, but she can't apply for anything because there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
So she's panicking a bit. And I said, there's no need to panic. She wants to work.
Of course, yeah.
While there are people out there who don't want to work and are quite happy doing what they're doing at the moment. So, so I've been okay. It's just making sure she is, really.
Yeah.
And when you're locked up together, even though we've been married for this long, we spend, if you think about it, you spend more time at work than you do with your siblings. So now it's reversed. So this is basically working in a shop was more or less your family because you got on with them for a lot longer than you did when you get home. When you get home, you've got 3 or 4 hours of prime time with your family. Then they either go to sleep or they go back to their own house or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
So now it's reversed, and you're stuck in the same situation all the time. I suppose we're lucky in a way. We've got the garden and we've got things we can do in that. But you've still got to order stuff and wait for stuff and get on each other's nerves in the garden instead of inside the house. But it's getting a bit like that at the moment. But I'm hoping, touch wood, that she will get something when we get back to what will pass for normal anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think normal is somewhere in the rearview mirror. It's just better than this at the minute. Is what we need to go for.
I don't think it can get worse.
I agree.
It could. There's only one way it could get worse.
Oh, we all catch it.
Well, then is that worse?
That's a good question. Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're talking about giving young people the COVID
vaccine or
no virus.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because the young people don't seem to be caring about what's going on, and they have their parties and things like that. So it's the herd mentality again. But you're in a situation where nobody's been in this situation before. So Boris, he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't.
Of course, yeah.
But so I don't know. I mean, the only way it could get worse is if the company folds. That will hurt a lot of people, I think.
Yep.
But at the moment, I think we're probably in a stronger position.
I agree.
Than a lot of the companies that are still left, not closed down, or furloughed, but still left.
Yeah.
Because in the centre, there's only going to be, I think, 2 decent menswear stores anyway.
Yeah, if that.
And us.
If that.
No. Sorry, no.
It's so bloody annoying because wherever I walk, I'm like, I keep looking at his empty units. I'm like,
I know.
We could do a lot with this. If we had in the fucking capital.
I know. Well, it wouldn't even be that. I mean, you could buy rails. You could rent a unit for a short let.
Yeah.
As a pop-up store, it's an easy thing to do, but it's what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at Christmas time, it's great. You do a pop-up store and you get everybody's presents and you wrap them for them, and then they come and pick them up. But it's what you do during the rest of the year. You know, you've got to find a niche. You know, office spaces. I've said it before.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know, indoor paintballing.
Yep.
I think is the way to go.
I agree.
And then water-based paints come off. You clean up the place. The landlords get some rent for the place, and you make a shed load of money.
What if we slightly adapted it and made it a Nerf war?
Same difference. I mean less. But you would have to have some way of. I've looked into all this. Believe
Go
me.
on. Yeah.
Believe me.
Go on.
Impact shots have to be counted.
Yeah.
So you have to have a counter on each person.
Got you.
Yeah. Otherwise you're just firing.
You just keep going. Yeah.
You might as well just stand in your garden and just go like that.
Yeah.
There's
Good
no point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you need a count of some kind.
Yep.
With paintball, you get that because you can see the splatters. You have 5 splatters and you're out of the game.
And it fucking hurts.
And it hurts. Nerf, not so much. Well, it depends.
Here's my caveat: is the new ones the rival range?
Yes.
Because they're like that.
Yeah.
And they will fuck you up.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you might have to limit what kind of guns, or at least have some guns scattered around.
Yeah.
Keys scattered around, so you can upgrade your gun from what you've got.
That's a good
idea. So you start off with a pistol, and there's lock boxes scattered around the building.
I like that.
Right. At the moment, there's a game online where you have to climb. Excuse me. You have to climb through a building and get to the roof, and each level you can get better guns. The enemies get better, obviously. You could do it that kind of way. So start at the ground floor and get to the top of whatever office block you got.
Yeah. Have you seen? Did you play the second Homefront?
No.
Because the first one was awesome, but because it's like trying to fight off Korea, but now Korea own it. So now you're like, oh shit. And there's what they've done, which is I kind of don't like, is that you can upgrade your guns as you're like going through the map. So you can literally be like, oh, my gun's doing this. They're like, oh, I need to do something else, and you can like add a scope, an extended magazine, and like a longer barrel to it, and it becomes obviously an assault rifle. But your character does it like as you're playing the game. It's pretty cool, but that's kind of like it's almost too easy in that respect because you can walk around with physically two guns, but you've got an entire armament because you can just convert them to whatever you want. You know, kind of
see, where some games fall apart is having the space on your character to carry all these bits and pieces. You should limit. You know, you've got 4 slots. You can only take 4 pieces with you. Yeah. And if you take other pieces, you've got to drop other pieces. Yeah. And you might find that, oh, I needed that for later on in the game, but then it's too late. So you either take off the bit that you substituted it with and just have a basic gun further down the line, hoping that you might pick up something better, or you don't take that scope off and have iron sights on instead. Yeah. So that's where games fall down. The Division I play a lot of, Division 2, you can carry quite a lot of stuff in your backpack, which is stupid. I mean, you can carry 16 guns to start. I know, and you could be in a battle and you could run out of bullets and you can literally say, well, that's not doing the damage I want. So if you've got time without being killed, you go into the menu, change your weapon and start again.
Oh, for God's
but you start from where you literally stop shooting. Yeah. So the game carries on. If you're playing with people online, they do it all the time.
It just never stops.
Yeah, but you've literally got half a ton of stuff with you. And that's where I think, you know, if you limit how much stuff you can carry, it makes the game a lot more interesting.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Especially if the people you're playing against or the AI you're playing against can do the same as well. But if they can have whatever they want, then you're screwed either way. So
it's like
because Warzone's like that. You get Warzone, whatever you pick up, the first gun you pick up is a shotgun or a pistol, and
useful.
Yeah, and 9 times out of 10 you get sniped by a guy who somehow has found the sniper rifle.
Because how does it work with that? Because can you spawn with your set loadouts, like straight from the jump?
No,
literally straight from the jump. Okay.
No, when you land, you've got nothing on you.
Okay.
Well, they've got a pistol.
Probably a pistol.
You might have a pistol on you. I think you've got a pistol on you. And then you try and get your loadout, and then you can choose whatever loadout you want. But you don't have anything else. Okay. If you play the campaign, you can choose whatever loadout you set it up before the game starts. But you can't swap it halfway through.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So you've only got the one.
Yeah.
Which is good because you can only carry that much.
Yeah. It's like playing like Far Cry 5 or 4 or whatever, where it was actually better than 3, because 3 was you could have 4 weapons and you could have like a Spaz 12 shotgun, an LMG, a rocket launcher, and an assault rifle.
And he still runs.
And he's still sprinting through like bushes. And you're like, oh, okay. But they changed it for 4 and 5, where one of them can only be a sidearm. But like 1 can only be a sidearm, not 2. It's like you still got a fucking LMG and a rocket launcher.
No, see, and you've got to carry the rockets
and 2 other guns.
See, in the Division, I carry a crossbow with exploding bolts, an LMG, and a rifle, and a pistol, and grenades,
and it keeps on going,
and
mines,
a remote control cannon.
Oh, that's
which just sits on the floor. You just throw it and it opens up and shoots.
That's very cool. I like that.
But you've got to carry all that stuff. Yeah. You know, if you were a soldier, you'd be going, fuck that. I can't carry all this stuff.
Yeah,
I'm going to get shot.
Well, have you seen... Did you ever watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I might have seen a couple of them.
There's one scene where they're like, it's the two of them. They've got to go take out the bad guys. And they're like, let's gear up. And you see them with like... like grenade launchers, assault rifles, handguns, ammo, and everything. They got bags full of equipment and ammo. You see them walking down the corridor. They're like, yeah. They just drop it on the floor because they're like, okay, we've got too much stuff.
I'll just take this. It's a small atomic bomb. There you go.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Yeah, you do wonder about it. Then you got like any Call of Duty game. It's just the two you've got.
Yeah.
Which does make it more challenging.
But also, you run out of bullets as well.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hate that.
Yeah. And if you can kill someone else and pick up their gun, which you can do,
yeah,
you'll have more bullets. And that's the way it should be. Because if you're trying to make it more real life, that's the nearest you're going to get. You're not going to suddenly say, "Oh look, I've still got all these bullets."
Yeah.
Or I can go back there and this bloke's going to drop a load of ammo for me. Well, that kind of thing. It starts to get a bit silly.
Yeah, I guess it depends what you want. I don't know about those games, I suppose. Because the few times I've done it with you, the fun part hasn't even been playing it. It's just the fucking banter between the guys between you. That's the fun part. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it always has been. I play with Freddie online, and he plays with two guys from Liverpool. And they just piss themselves laughing all the time. You know, you get shot from somewhere really stupid, and they'd have a rant.
Yeah.
But they have a laugh, and that's what you want. If you take it too seriously, at the end of the day, you throw your controller at the end of across the room.
Yeah.
You're taking it too seriously.
Yeah, I agree.
And you don't want to do that. And there are people out there who do take it too seriously. You know, and you just want to have a laugh. It's like playing GTA 5.
Yeah.
I play that with Freddie as well, and we've played that from GTA 2. Upwards.
Nice.
And we played against each other, getting a sniper rifle and sniping from the most ridiculous places, half a mile away, you know, and it's just been fun. And every time the game's got better and the weapons have got better, or we end up chasing each other in cars or motorbikes or that kind of thing, and being chased by the police, it's just fun.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And when you die, you laugh. You don't sort of think, "Oh fuck this, I've got to start all over again."
Yeah, I know.
It takes the joy out of it, you know. And Kim doesn't understand why I play, you know. And I say, well, I meet people from across the world.
Yep.
Well, I hear their voices, but it's just a release in some way. It's like her reading her books. You know, I've downloaded so many books for her, and set up, and she'll read those, get bored with those, and I had to try and find her something else. So now I've set up a typing course for her.
Oh, fair play.
So she's got to get up. It's a speed thing. So the words come up and she has to type them as quick as possible. So I got Ben to find me the best one, and he told me which one. So we downloaded it, and she just does that. And she'll do that for about an hour a day. So you never know, when we come out of this, she might have the skills to do something like that. But yeah, and she concentrates on that.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
There's people who ask that question about why do you play video games. They've never played them, and it's such a. I mean, you nailed it. It's such a fucking release. I
think it is. Yeah. I mean, I still do test games for Sony.
Nice.
You know, I'll get an email saying, "Do you want to test this game? Here's the code. Let us know what you think about it and what we'll change." It'll either be in the an alpha test or a beta test, and then they'll come out with. You know, that game might come out. I mean, there's a couple of games I've never seen again because they were rubbish, you know.
That's good. Shouldn't see him again then.
Eddie used to do. I don't know if he still does as well. But it's great because you see games from people who've just made something and they want to see what it's like. You know, does it work? And you might end up walking through a wall, so you know there's a problem there. But yeah, and I've been doing that for years. Not so much now. I haven't had one for several years now. But I find it interesting to see how far things have come from when I started testing games to the ones up until 7 years ago. And even now, you look at the games you're watching now with 4K and all this lot, and you look at it and you think, wow, that's a massive change. I was watching a video of Uncharted 3, and they did the whole game on YouTube. And I watched that, and the graphics were good, but you can imagine what they would be like now. But the problem is that the gameplay was awful.
Yeah, I know.
You know, so if you can marry the two up, it'll be great.
Yeah.
Because someone said to me the other day, "What do you think the problem is with Modern Warfare and Warzone?" And I just put down Modern Warfare, Warzone. I said that's the problem. I said,
"Go on."
The graphics are great, but the gameplay is awful.
Yeah.
And everybody said, you know, there's been in this day and age, to spot cheats and to get rid of them has got to be a lot easier than it is now. Because you go onto a map and there's someone sniping you from 3 miles away.
Yep.
And there's nothing you can do, or they're shooting you through a wall. By now, we should be able to sort that kind of thing out. So people can play the game. They spend 30, 40, 50 pounds on a game only to have someone ruin the game for them. You know?
And sorry, Karen.
No, go. It's okay.
I was gonna say, and it's because it's cross-platform as well. If you've got someone who's using a PC and you're just on a console, they're annoyingly gonna have more accuracy than you.
But then you look at it that if you're using, I don't agree with that. I look at it that you can go to tournaments to see people playing using a controller, and they are as good, if not better, than people play on PC.
Fair enough.
Ben plays on PC, and I play Warzone with Ben on PC, and I'm on this, and he plays with 2 of his friends who are on PC. We play as a group, and at the end of it, my figures are only just slightly lower than theirs. And that's either a good thing or they're really shit. but kill wise, we're almost level.
Okay.
So I think it just depends on how fast you can use. I mean, I don't have to look at my controller. If I got a keyboard, I would have to look at the keyboard to see, I've got to be able to throw a grenade. I've got to be able to do this. And with a controller, I know where everything is. And it's the same with people who play PC. They know where everything is. So they don't have to think about it. They don't have to look at that. They're looking at that. So I disagree with that.
Okay.
I mean, there are teams out there who will play it, and the equipment they've got might be 100 times better than the one you've got at home. But that's like being in a proper war. There's going to have soldiers. You're a better shot than I am. That's the kind of thing. But that's not because your equipment's any better. It's just because you're slightly better.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
But I could be a better shot than you with the same equipment. So it doesn't matter. The equipment you've got underneath your fingers doesn't matter. It's how you play the game. Harry's will play on a PC now, and I'll play Harry, and I can still shoot Harry because even though my controls are slightly different, if you're in a proper war, you're not going to be the same as the guy sitting next to you. He's going to go left. You're not going to go left. You're going to go, fuck that. I'm going this way.
Yeah.
Because I think there's more people that way. So it's what's up here, not what's on the keyboard or the controller. So everybody plays differently because everybody is different. Yeah. So if everybody had PCs, you would still be better than I am. But that's not because my PC is worse than you. It's because you're a better player than I am. If we all play controllers, I think I would be a better one than you. But that's not because I'm a better player than you, or the controller is better than yours. It's just the way you play the game. Because it's a now situation, not like playing Tomb Raider or something like that, where we can jump and I might not double tap and get there. But you'll double tap and get there. So I have to start that bit again. Yeah? So I don't think that really matters. I think it's up here.
Okay.
It's up here how you play the game. I've shot loads of players who play PCs. And they've shot me. But I would still argue that doesn't really matter. It's the cheaters that matter.
Yeah, because
they spoil it.
Yeah, I mean, for that specific example of yours, the prick fucking shooting you from 3 miles away. You're like, well, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, well, you sit there and go, what's the point? And the amount of people that I follow on YouTube who play games and play in tournaments, a lot of them have just dumped the game, and they've said, I'm not playing it. Not because the graphics are crap, or just basically because people are cheating. Yeah. And if the companies can't deal with that, then people are just going to turn away from that.
So what do you think it is? Do you think they can't deal with it, or they just have no incentive to?
Well, I just think that prime example is Cyberpunk. Came out, they rushed that game because we had lockdown. Yep. And I bought it. I played it for 3 nights, and in those 3 nights, it froze 7 times. And that's because it was rushed. And it wasn't because there was too much graphics for my Xbox to deal with, because I was looking at a wall. The guy got out of his car and just froze. And then they had a 2 gig download or something like that to fix problems. Now, you do that before you put a game out. Yep. Okay, and you have testers who do that. That's why you do alpha and beta tests. To get people to say, well, that's wrong. I fell through a wall here. my feet disappeared into the floor, which it does in Modern Warfare sometimes. You'll see people and all of a sudden their feet disappear, and that's because of a lag or whatever.
Yeah.
But in this day and age, you should be able to sort of do all that before you put a game out. But because they rush games out, I mean, you ask anybody, how many downloads has Modern Warfare had, and how big are they? I mean, you haven't got an infinite amount of space on your Xbox or PC.
Mate, I nearly cried when I saw that fucking download size. Jesus Christ.
But then they do an update, which is 2 gigs.
Yeah. And
you're looking at it, and your percentage of how much you've got,
I know,
is gone. I mean, I've got a 2 gig external hard drive as well. My Xbox has nothing on it.
Yeah.
Except for the startup, and that's it. But there's no difference between speeds I've found anyway. If I moved it to my Xbox, I would probably run out of space.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Every time they do a download, I would run out of space and think, how big has my Xbox got? The drive got to be now? The first thing people do is when they buy a new Xbox or a new PC, how much is a new hard drive? Because that's what you've got to do. I mean, we've got our server, and our server's now got, I think it's like something like 20 terabytes of space.
Fuck me.
Yeah, and you think, you say, there's plenty of space. You
Damn.
know, and why don't you use that to? I could probably link my Xbox to that to use some of the space. But the problem is we've used up a lot of that. There's a lot of films on that. There's a lot of kids' films for the various people that we're supplying our server to. But it eats up space.
Well, I mean, and also, considering the file on bloody Warzone, that's a couple of 100 gigs by itself. And you're like, why?
Yeah.
Why is there so much fucking space? But so how are they getting these things through? Are they still doing the testing?
They are still doing testing. They just rush it. Cyberpunk is a prime example. They wanted to get it out. They wanted people to play it because they'd raved about it over the last 3 years. You know, the rumours of this game coming out, and then when it does come out, it flops because nobody can play the damn thing. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox. It just kept, your player would freeze or the game would shut down.
Yeah,
and it's because they rushed it. They saw an opportunity. They promised it would be out at a certain date, and it wasn't. So then they thought, right, we're just going to put it out there. It's like a lot of games you will have an update, but it might be a new map, and that's how you should do it.
Or DLC or something.
Yeah, but not okay. You've now got a 2 gigabyte download because we found these bugs. Well, you should have found those bugs before you sent the program out.
What game company is it that did Cyberpunk?
Couldn't tell you offhand. I'd have to have a look on my phone.
Because I'm just wondering. Because I mean, what the hell? Because you've got a bunch that have been pushed back. Like Far Cry 6 is pushed back a year. Elder Scrolls 6 is out again, pushed back a year. So I was like, what? Why don't you just push it back? People understand what's going on. People know that this is unusual circumstances.
Yeah, well, it's because of the unusual circumstances that the money's talking, not the development is talking. They push it out and say, look, we can make money on this now because once they bought the game, we've got them.
Good point.
Okay, and then we can either we can sort out the bugs at a later date. GTA 5 had the same thing. GTA 5 came out. There were still bugs in it, but because people were desperate to play GTA, they got it. GTA 6 is on its way, but has been for the last 5 years.
But I think with Rockstar, right?
Yeah,
I think they're fine because people still absolutely destroy.
People will buy that game without a problem.
Oh yeah, and people will wait. They don't care. They don't care how long it takes. They're like fine.
Exactly. Watchdog was a prime example. When Watchdog came out. Interesting game, but it could have been so much more. Watchdog 2 was rubbish. I didn't buy it, but I again, if you watch the videos of people playing it and people that I follow, and I say this is just wrong. This is just the way this is working is wrong. It's like the Division and Division 2. Yeah. It could have been so much more, but it wasn't. It was a bit of a letdown. Division 2. I'm only playing it to help other people. There's a lot of people that I know who. Have said, what do you think of this game? And I said, well, give it a go. It's gone down in price. It's not that expensive now. Buy the game if you want. And if you want to come online, hit me up and I'll play with you and we'll boost you up through the levels. But even some of those have gone, this is not really challenging enough. Even though you can change it from easy, normal, challenging, heroic to nigh on impossible, but you need really good players to play when you're up the top. So we play it on challenging or heroic.
Yeah.
And you run out of ammo quite quickly.
Bad play. Because
when he's shooting people, they don't go down. Or they go down, but then they're resurrected. Because they've got to link up with the Umbrella Company. What was that one? Was it Resident Evil? No.
What, for the Division?
Yeah, no. It was who was the Umbrella Company? Was Resident
Evil? Oh
yes,
yeah.
Yeah, so they've linked up with them.
Oh, okay.
So you can get the equipment from the players that were in that.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you do that, but you've got to go through on a certain level to get there. And all you do is the guns are no different. The outfits you get, you can change, and that was basically it.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's not a great thing to do, but it is part of the game.
It's almost a gimmick.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you can change the look of your player by putting a mask on him.
Yeah.
But I've just spent 10 minutes putting a moustache on my one.
Yeah.
Then you hide it with a fucking mask.
Yeah.
These chairs are awful.
I know. I was gonna whenever your back's about to snap, we'll go to the snaps and then we'll stop.
we shall have an ad break now.
Would you like me to send you a copy before I do anything with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from this bit, I'm just going to go. And she said, I did that, and he slapped her.
Or we should come in and be like, Al, Jews are people, all right?
Jews are people. They make great kindling.
Yeah. No. Oh my God.
Maybe not.
What was it? Is this
It's not true. It's not true. It's Australians.
There's this fucking hell. There's this channel I follow on YouTube, and they just find the most like ridiculous videos. And one is this dude from Yorkshire, talking about how best to cook faggots. But as in like the food, and they're just howling, laughing at it, being like, out of context. This is so bad. But it's so
how to cook faggots.
Exactly. Yeah. But I heard it. I was like, what, the little charcoal briquettes? And they're like, no, the actual meat. I was like, oh, got you. That one. Fine. But I'm just like, I'm like, yeah, fine. But it's just you just take it out of context, and people are like, they might just splice it and just start off with faggots.
How to cook faggots? Yeah.
Or it's the people who get offended where that's how you refer to a cigarette like that. And you're like, it's a cigarette. Like, calm down.
Oh, I used to like to suck on a fag.
Yeah, I know.
I can't do that anymore.
No. Hey, that's fine.
So nice. Anyway, yes.
All I was going to say is similar to what you're saying about Division 2, I'm going to say Just Cause 4. Because 1 was shit, fine. 2 was good. 3 was good. I got 4, and I was like, oh, this is so bad.
I think it's because they think they've got a good franchise.
They do. They just fucked it up.
Yeah, but there's no difference, really. Was there much difference between the first one and the fourth?
Yeah, oh yeah. But in a good way. Like it's like first Assassin's Creed versus Brotherhood. That's a good difference.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I mean, one was terrible for Just Cause. 2 was great. 3 was good because they kept it pretty much the same, but just put in like hunter killer missiles and shit like that, and like the grapple could do more wingsuits, more weapons. So you're like, cool. It's the same. It's a similar map, different plot. Better weapons, better equipment, better graphics. You're like, cool, I like this, because it's the kind of things that you want. It's like if you could say, okay, I love the gameplay for this, but I'd want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do that. Yeah. So you either obviously jailbreak it, then you can do whatever you want, or you wait for the next game, which they did. So I thought that's pretty good. And in 4, they just ruined it because it's like they tried to make it too fancy. They tried to make it like almost like Crisis, where you could have your own, like you had these stupid filters where you've got a fucking bionic eye and some shit, and you're like, what are you doing?
Well, that's modern warfare. That's modern warfare that goes from the sublime to the ridiculous of being able to run up walls and things like this. And
advanced warfare, exactly.
And you look at that and you think, really?
You're like, why is this happening?
Yeah. Anthem is a prime example of that. Anthem is a game that was promised so much. The graphics look stunning. The you could download part of the game just to play it to see if you liked it, and everybody raved about it. When the game came out, it was awful, and they dumped it.
Yeah.
And literally, you could buy it for probably about 20p, but it's an awful game. It really, the graphics are stunning, but that's about it. The gameplay is just totally wrong.
Yeah.
You know, and you look at it, and it's a bit like Destiny. Destiny is another one. Right. The first one was a great idea.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Destiny 2 has just been a car crash after a car crash.
Well, I mean,
but they're still throwing new maps at it in new ways.
God.
And all they're doing is saying your player can now use different weapons, but you've got to go through so much to get these different weapons.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
And it's the same gameplay every time.
It's with Destiny. It was such a. I played it once and I was like, "Is that it?" Because it's such a limited.
Yeah.
The maps are
big. You can go. You can go to a lot of planets.
Yeah.
But where the enemies are, the enemies are always there.
And what you can do, it's just all you do is you got your central base. You go fight. You go to. You have a short cutscene of flying to another planet. You get on the planet. You shoot him. You go home. It's like, is that it?
But if you go back, you'll go to the same places to do the same things.
Yeah, I know.
It says open world maps and things. Well, it's not.
It's not.
It's shit.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
If you could actually have I don't know. Let's say if you had Far Cry but in space. If you actually had like all of those maps from let's say 3, 4, and 5, and you could visit each of them, that would be sick because they're each, I don't know, 5 kilometers squared or some kind of shit.
Well, it's like Far Cry Primal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know that is a completely different animal from the rest of the games.
That was good.
That's a standalone game.
That was good.
I enjoy. I've still got that. I still occasionally play that.
Yeah, good game.
I've got it set up. I've got 2 Xboxes. So I've got one upstairs, and that's the only game that's on that.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm up because that's my workshop at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'll do some work up there, whether it's masks or I've got a couple of dresses up there to do. And then I'll play an hour on that. But it's completely different from anything else. So that's great. Another a great game would be Eve. If you can get on Eve Online. I did that from the beginning of the game when it first started, and that is just a brilliant game. It hasn't got worse; it's got a lot better. The things that they do and the people that are playing it, it's millions of people playing it online, you know, and it's just a phenomenal game. And every game is different because there's no, everybody is real, and they'll either stab you in the back or you're part of a group, and you'll work with them all the time. And they're just brilliant. It's and you'll have special events where they say, right, we're going to get 12 different groups on either side and just have a massive battle. And they'll do things like that, and it's just phenomenal. From the graphics, as long as you've got a decent machine, you do need a decent machine, otherwise your graphics are going to suffer. But it is just a phenomenal game.
Well, for anyone who doesn't know what Eve is, you're missing out because it's what's the shittier version they made for a console? No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
it's like that, but light years ahead.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, it is most. There are 2 different. There's a game where you can play on a planet, but it's mostly played in space.
Yeah,
and it's mining and all that, and everybody thinks, oh, mining, that's a load of shit. But it's not. It's part of a bigger game.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it. You can do whatever you want. But if you want to progress, there are certain things you do have to do. And if you're in a clan, the clan will help you. They will supply you with stuff as well. And that's the good thing. And it's people working with other people. And it's just, check it out on YouTube. Just look at one of the battles and you just see, and that is how it looks.
Yeah.
It's not just a CGI thing for you to look at and think, oh, I might play that game and it looks shit. That's how it looks.
See, that was what pisses me off because you've got stuff like any of the World of Warcraft add-ons or the League of Legends. I just watched the trailers, so the trailers are films in themselves. They're amazing.
Warhammer's the same thing.
I know.
Warhammer, you watch
I know. Tell me about it.
There's a Warhammer game coming out soon.
Dark Tide.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it looks stunning.
It looks so good.
But they don't play like that. And they don't look like that.
Oh, man. Oh,
none of them ever
right.
do. And you look at it and you go, oh, yeah, I want to play it because this looks like really good.
Yeah, man.
And then when you start playing it, you go, he looks a bit shit.
Because it's a new one for them because it's new style of game for them because it's a first-person shooter.
It's a new venture for them, definitely.
Which could be awesome.
It could be fantastic, or it could die a death.
Yeah,
I hope that it doesn't die a death.
Well, because I mean, they from the gameplay trailers I've seen, they've got the they've got the graphics nailed, and I like the fact they put fucking Ogre in there, which is awesome as a playable character. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the gameplay side of it.
It'll either be absolute shit,
yeah,
or like a rocket. It'll be good.
I started last Friday. I played Dawn of War online with my cousin and a few of his mates. So fucking funny! It's so funny because we had like 4 of us on one team versus the AI, and we put on like super hard or whatever. And it was like me at a bottleneck, and I was like, "Cool, I'm gonna set up turrets. You lot flank round. You follow this. Go this way. Cool." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm alright. I'm all good." And then just this whole swarm comes out of nowhere and just destroys me. And then I'm like, "Yeah, I'm running away just to help." And one of the dudes is like, "Do you need a hand, man?" I'm like, "I'm dead." Why are you asking
Too late
now?
now.
Why are you asking now?
You can see the map.
We've been talking about it for the last 10 minutes how much help I need. He's like, "Do you need a hand?" I'm like, "You fucking no, you dickhead."
I'm going home.
But it's like we were saying. It's like the game. It doesn't matter if you get the shit like your fucking arse handed to you.
So long
it's
as you
funny.
enjoy it.
Yeah,
that's how it is. It's like anything. It's like playing with a Wii, playing bowling with a Wii. Anything like that, especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
And what we're going through, you need something to make this work.
I got a Wii in the beginning of January, so we were doing like Mario Kart on it.
Yeah,
but it was great. We were like all 4 of us were on it. We were just there like, obviously Dad couldn't play for shit, but the rest of us were having a great time.
Oh yeah, Dad, bless him.
He says hi, by the way.
Does he?
Yeah,
he's a good bloke.
Says he hopes you're well.
Yes, yeah. Apart from the arthritis and the varicose veins and the various other things, I'm fine.
Sorry, his memory's failing, so whatever.
Apart from the varicose veins. And, yeah.
Fuck's sake. See, I wonder what would happen if, and
all 3 of us just sat down here and chatted.
Yeah.
No, it would be a fucking nightmare.
All it would be me sat in the middle, you 2 either side, me just staring like.
Just going. There'd just be cuts of you going. Or just taking the headset off and just walking away. Just I'm leaving him.
Just be on my phone.
Hi, Mum. Yeah, they're still going.
Yeah, they're still doing it. And she'd be like, "Put me on speakerphone," and she'd join in.
I get mine, Kim, saying, "You coming over for dinner?"
Right, no, I'm having too much fun. No, we've ordered pizza.
Yeah. You want to come over for pizza?
Yeah.
She says hi, by the way.
Good.
She was going to come in, but she said she doesn't feel like going in today.
That's fine. Yeah, whatever.
So I said, if you feel like coming in later on, let me know. So she's probably phoned me, but my phone's in my jacket.
Yeah.
So I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not going to know. So I'm glad with that one there. My phone's over there, and I put it on airplane mode, so I'm not really disturbed. I'll just be interested to know if there's like get a call. Anyway, well, I'm not gonna say anything. Yeah. Well, if anyone doesn't know, Al was a how do you describe it? Did you say you make wedding dresses or you just alter them?
I have made a wedding dress in the past. 2. I alter them, so it's a lot more easier to alter something than to make something. I think, especially a wedding dress, because people have got set ideas of what they want.
Yeah. And
it's their special day, so whatever they want, you want to be able to do. But sometimes the finished article isn't exactly what they want. Mainly because what they ask for is impossible. You know, especially with the material that you're given. Prime example was when I first started, put out the suggestion that I can do wedding dresses. The first one I got, I was given a picture of a £13,000 wedding dress with £200 material, and to make it look like that. But the material and the way it's constructed in the picture, that is why it costs what it does. The material is so much better and it flows a lot better. The material that you would buy or they bought couldn't do that, and they didn't understand why it wouldn't do that. So I literally had to take them out to a shop and show them. A friend of mine in Southampton who's got a wedding shop, and I took them there, and I said, "This is the dress you want." But this is the material you've got. And they were both similar cuts. But the cheaper one looked cheaper because of the material. While the other one, which wasn't 13,000, but it was at least £7,000, looked stunning. But it was a similar cut, and it flowed, and then they understood. So we had to modify what they wanted. So that took a lot longer than expected because of that. But I alter things a lot more. It's a lot more easier to alter things than it is to make them from scratch, because people have got preconceived ideas of what they want, and then to knock those out because some of them are just impractical. If you're making something, for, let's say, for argument's sake, for a bouncer or something like that, they wanted deeper pockets. For a bodyguard, they need deeper pockets because they want to be able to fit certain things within that garment without showing it on the outside. You construct a jacket differently on the inside. If you're creating an ordinary suit, it's slightly different because you're not doing the deeper pockets, but they are basically the same. But if you've got a wedding dress with that material, but you wanted to make it look like that, you can't do it. You know, you can make something that looks like it, but it won't flow like it. And that's the downside of making stuff from scratch. If you're making, because it never looks, say, oh, I want this, can you do this? I need a double pocket on that. But you've got to explain to people, you can have as many pockets as you like, but remember, if you're going to use them all, your jacket's going to sag. You know, might not do it in the first 6 or 7 months, but after a while, you will start sagging the jacket, and you can sew it together as much as you want and make it look as stiff as possible. But that's the problem, it becomes too stiff. So taking something off the peg, or even something that's been made for someone, they say, oh, can you alter this? There's certain things you can do. It's like trousers. If they're too big, too small, you can let the waist out or take it in.
But you can't do anything with the thighs. As in, you can't make them bigger, for example.
No, you could do many years ago, but now, if you look at any trouser and turn it inside out, there's a minimum amount of material. Because it's all down to cost. You want to get as many garments out of that one roll of material as you can possibly do. And to do that, you minimise what's left inside. You can take thighs in, not a problem. You can let them out, not so much. Let the waist out and the seat out because there's enough in there. The rest of it you can't do anything about. You can take belt loops off. You can put bracer buttons on, that kind of thing, to change the look of a pair of trousers. Jacket, you can take the jacket in. You can close vents. You can open vents if you want. You can make a jacket to open vents. But the problem with that is it won't sit flat.
Because it's not how it was designed.
Yeah, because if it's a whole back jacket, you've only got, again, that much material.
Got you. And you need the overlap.
You need the overlap, and that's what you need. Without that, it's going to look really strange. It's going to gape too much. If you've got something off and you want to close it up, that's an easier thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, take shoulder pads out, that kind of thing. Reduce the length of a sleeve, easier. All these things are easy to do. But to be given a sketch, like our guy from the tattoo parlour in Harris Arcade. He wanted a particular steampunk suit for his wedding, and he gave me a sketch of it. And the things he wanted on it couldn't be done. And I had to explain it to him.
What did he want?
Well, it was just impractical. The material he wanted, which was a Harris tweed for a start.
Straight away that's a problem.
Yeah, and it's a much thicker material, which is fine. It's an awful material to work with, but it does look stunning. But it
wears fucking terribly.
Yeah, but it's how he wanted it done. I said, you're going to have to go somewhere else. And I think he did go somewhere else, but when I saw the wedding photos, he wasn't wearing it. So he obviously was told the same thing, and he got something completely different. But there's, I enjoy altering stuff and making things fit people. Especially in this day and age where people's money is a bit tighter. So instead of throwing things away, we can adjust it to fit something else. It's like Richard, who wants the
denim apron.
Yeah, the denim apron. I mean, it can be done because I've actually looked it up, and because I haven't done one before. I've made aprons before because I made them for Greg and the workhouse. Workhouse coffee shop, not just a workhouse. I just thought I'd put that out there, Just got people in a workhouse going, new apron.
Al knows the contemporary Oliver Twist.
Yeah. Fucking make coffee.
That'd be good.
But so it can be done. But again, as I said earlier on, it's having the to do it at the moment because you're stuck at home. And I've been making loads of masks. Don't get me wrong, but I said, I'm just going to make 10 masks. So I'll go upstairs, make 10 masks, and then that's it. I don't want to do anything else. But to sit down there and spend time, especially with Kim the way she is at the moment, I'd rather spend time with her than doing a project. But if I was working, if I was in the shop and working, I'd go home. I'd do that.
Well, because you're in that flow.
Yeah. So it's really strange, and it's frustrating for me as well.
Well, I guess for you, because you're so precise as well in what you have to do, if you're not getting a break, or you're not like getting out and about, you're getting that difference in your eyes. It's got to physically hurt your fucking eyes.
It does, but I don't need the break. I mean, I would go from the shop to home, do some work.
No, but the point it's not. I don't think it's the work. When you're at work, you're walking around. You've got a good distance. Whereas, like, if you're depending on what the job you've got to do, but I imagine some of it is really fine, close detail.
Yeah, it is. But I relish that. I don't.
I'm sure you do.
I don't. But it's because we've got so much time.
Yeah.
At the moment, and you'd think, oh, let's go out and do a project. Let's go and do the garden. Let's do that. But it's doing it.
Yeah.
And it's the motivation for it. The motivation for me at the moment of doing the project for Richard, for instance, is not there.
Yeah, fine.
I normally look at it that if I get before the first lockdown, I got 2 leather jackets to do, and one was ripped on the sleeve, and I relish that because that was something different. Doing 3 or 4 pairs of trousers, taking the waist or letting the waist out, that becomes a bit monotonous. But to have different things to do, normally, is something I relish, and the apron would be something different. So I should relish that. But because of the situation we're in, I'm not thinking.
Yeah, I get it.
Get it and do it, because I would, instead of taking me 2 days, it'd probably take me a couple of weeks, because I haven't got the motivation to sit down there and do it. You know, because I plan my days. You know, I know exactly when to get up in the morning to get to work, what I can do. So when I leave, sorry, hurt my hand. When I leave work, I'm already thinking about what I've got left at home to do. So if I've got that jacket to do, or I've got the shirt for WRDC to do, you know, or to add bits to that or take bits away, then I'm already working on that. So I get home, I have something to eat, and I spend an hour or 2 hours upstairs, and then I go online till about 2 o'clock. So that's how my routine is, and I have a routine. At the moment, the routine's out the window. Yeah. Kim will say, "I'm going up to read my book. You can play a game if you want." So I'm playing during the day, and I don't enjoy that.
Yes, because out of the norm.
Yeah. Yeah. But you can't get back to normal without going back to work. I don't think. And I know I've got work at home to do.
It's not the same though.
But it's not the same. And at the moment, I've got 3 or 4 projects doing at the moment, but none of them, from the customer's point of view, is urgent. Because they've said to me, whenever. Yeah. Because they don't know when they're going back to work. Yeah. I've got 2 suits to do for a guy to put new pockets in and that kind of thing. He said, I'm not back in the office. I'm working from home at the moment. So whenever you've done it, let me know. And when we come out of this, I'll come and pick it up. But he might not need it.
Yeah, I mean, you're still... It's not like you're not going to get the business because they've already given it to you and they're like, fine, but it's just that they're not going to have any use for it.
No, exactly. Well, this is the worry I've got with when we do reopen up. But I think it might take 3 or 4 months for people to want what we sell. Because a lot of them will still be working from home, because a lot of companies would say, well, we don't really need the offices. Or if we need the office, we can rent one for £100 a day or whatever. Yeah. So it's a lot cheaper. Yeah. Ben's working from home. He doesn't go into the office at all. Yeah. Laura's, who he lives with, she works from home. Doesn't have to go into the office at all. So, you know, they've got a new house, so they're in the new house, so it's all exciting for them. Yeah. So they work and then they spend the rest of the time doing the house up. But he doesn't wear a suit. He doesn't need a suit. Yeah. A lot of the people that are in the office are working from home. They don't need a suit. They do Zoom calls or team calls, T-shirts and whatever. There's no need to dress up. Even clients who are phoning up, they don't need to dress up. Yeah.
There was some, I've got a few friends who are like office based, and some of their some of their companies are going to start do like, I think it's end of March, early April. If they're allowed to, but they're planning to do like a few days a week. Yeah. Which I think, most people are like fine, because I don't think no, I don't think anyone wants to go back to full time to work. But I think people like as in to physically travel to work. But I think some people like the idea of a few days a week, and maybe they'll get flexibility as you can choose what days you want to go.
I think that will happen, but I think eventually people will want to have that separation.
I completely agree.
You know, that they want, that's work, that's home.
Yeah.
I don't know, because of the only person I've got is Kim at home.
Yeah.
When Ben was younger, I would go home and want to spend time with Ben and Kim.
Yeah.
Now all I want to do is spend time with Kim.
Yeah.
So, but even she says, if you've got things to do, go and do, because I get on her nerves. So she knows I've got work to do, so I go and do work. And then we sit down, we watch a film, and then she'll go to bed, and then I'll play. So, but it's it will happen, because people will want that separation from working from a home office to going back to an office, and then having that home, because then they can say, "How was your day?"
Yeah,
because you can't do that.
Exactly. Yeah, because we know we're with you the whole time. Yeah, we know what we did. Yeah,
yeah, I heard you.
Yeah,
and that's the end of the conversation.
Yeah,
and that's part. Although it's boring and it's not easy for, let's say, if I came home, if the shop opened up and I went back home and Kim asked me, I'd tell her. But then I can't ask her because she hasn't got a job.
Yeah, but at least you'd have something. Yeah.
So it'll be something away from what it is now.
I agree.
And if you're working from home, you haven't got, even if you've got a garden shed, which is now your office, and you walk from the garden into that, you still don't, okay, yeah, it was done, all sorted. And that's the end of the conversation. Yeah. With what we do, each customer is different.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
And some of them are more memorable than others.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's I think you need that separation, otherwise you become too enclosed and too on top of each other. You don't need that.
I agree.
So I understand when Kim says, I'm going upstairs to read a book for an hour.
Yeah.
Or she'll do the typing course for an hour or something like that. So it gives her something, it gives her mind something to do. Yeah. Otherwise you become so insular.
Yeah, it's difficult.
It's not great.
Well, this is why I wanted to, come and meet you in an undisclosed location, because it gets us both out of the house,
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have been in that house. Yeah. They're going to be so mad when they turn up and haven't done the washing up.
You've got to stop squatting.
Yeah, I've really got, you should use the toilet. No, hey.
Well, like I said, the exercise is very good. Everyone should do that. But yeah.
Yeah, it's what you leave behind.
Imagine if they actually walk in and someone is just in the corner and they're like, "What are you doing?" Squatting.
You haven't got the hang of this, have you? No.
You're like, is this not how you do it?
This. It's a new job. It's a new job. It's a job description I got on my phone.
Squatting laws are weird. Yeah. Right, where are we at? Okay. We're on about an hour. Do you want to go a little bit longer, or do you want to give your back a rest?
It's entirely up to you, mate. I'm old. My back's gone on it anyway, so I'm numb now. So it doesn't really matter.
Have I got to pull you out of the chair?
No.
Yeah.
No. That's another podcast.
Chairs.
How to get old people out of chairs.
Imagine we could just do like an instructional manual, like a little video on how to do it. What you do, stand on their feet,
tip them forward, and have something. Have a mattress in front of them.
Yeah.
Into bed.
You did well not to try and make a pun out of my name and mattress. You did good.
No, I didn't.
See, I think coming up to this year, it would be 8 years I would have known you.
Yep.
It's October this year. And I think I knew we were going to get along, because one of the first things you ever said was when what was it? I was like, "Al, can you pass me that?" And you went, "Oh, there you go." I said, "Thanks, Al." You went, "Oh, you're welcome, Matt." Welcome, Matt.
Welcome, Matt. Yeah.
And I knew I'd have no choice but to get on with you, because otherwise you'd make my life a living hell.
Well, as you said, it was like working with your dad.
Oh my God. Yeah, it is. It is like working with my dad.
Now go to your room.
Yeah.
Oh, you are in your room.
Yeah, I am in my room. Yeah, we're already here.
His room.
Yeah.
Not my shed.
Yeah. It's both.
It's both. Yeah.
It
goes back to squatting.
I live under the table. Yeah. It's where I've got to be.
Oh, yeah, man. 8 years. Bloody hell.
I know. It's been fun.
Yeah, it has been fun, actually. I have enjoyed working with you. Likewise.
It's weird, because the 2 years that I didn't work with you, at the time, it felt those 2 years have felt longer than the whole time I've known you. which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's probably a bad thing. But the reflection.
I'd go with that.
Reflection on you. But the 2 years that I was away,
Who wouldn't want to work with this?
Yeah, I know.
Face, Lucy.
Yeah, it's weird. The 2
Everyone apparently.
I'm trying to talk.
Sorry. You'll get there.
Fuck you.
It's taken this long.
I think he's trying to communicate. Yeah, no, the 2 years that shut up.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I can't get it. Not saying it.
No,
Not
don't
saying
say
it
it, don't
because
say it.
you'll pick me apart.
I won't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do a thing like that.
yeah, yeah, sure. I can't get it out. There you go.
Hey.
The 2
Not
years.
the first time.
Yeah, the 2.
Jazz says hi, by the way.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
The 2 years I was away felt like they just felt
sabbatical.
so much longer. No, but longer because it was. Maybe because it was so intense, or maybe I don't know.
Well, your job was intense. I mean, as soon as you went in there, you were told what they expect of you.
Yeah, but and also it wasn't. It's a completely different environment. Whereas like here, with working with you, it's just it's like working with family. Whereas like that, I was like, oh shit.
Well, I think we're all. I think in that particular workplace, it's everyone for themselves. I don't see it as a team.
Oh, big time.
Yeah. Although they talk about a team, you've got to hit your target. And if you're not, you're out.
Yeah.
You know, it's as simple as that. We would help each other, I think.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that.
No, we definitely do. Yeah.
Yeah. In some situations, when I first came to the Oracle, it wasn't like that. It was everyone for themselves. But working with Joanna at the time, I think she wanted more of a team mentality anyway, and that's how we ended up working. Yeah. And I thought it was a lot better that way, and I still maintain that it's the better way. It's the best way of getting the best from everyone.
I agree.
When I was working for Johnson's Dry Cleaners, I was put into Asda in Lower Early. I had a branch in there, in the mall there, and the team I was given a list of all the problems I will have from my area manager.
What?
This person is a troublemaker. This one. So I thought,
what the fuck?
Yeah, that was my first day. So he dropped me off. Spoke to the people. So I'd already done 8 months of training on the machines and everything else. So I knew all these. But I went in there and I had the list, and he said, "Good luck." And that was basically it. He introduced me, and that was it. So he went. So I said, I've been given a list about you guys. So I screwed it up and threw it away. And I said, so long as you do your job, I don't care what you do after that. Yep. And Alan, God bless him, who's been there longer than anyone else, said, well, I always have Wednesday off. And I went, that's fine. Yeah. I've got no problem with that. Yeah. Pooja, who worked with me, she had a young son, but she did 2 jobs. Wow. And she was all of them, in fact. Vicky, who was the assistant manager, brilliant girl. She's now back in China, I think. Fantastic people to work with, and I had no trouble with that. I said, so long as you do your job, I'm happy. If you don't do your job, I'm unhappy. You don't want to make me unhappy. I took that from film, I think. You don't want to see me when I'm angry. Yeah. That kind of thing. But I used that. Yeah. And they just got on with the work. Hulk. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to see me turn green. Yeah. Yeah. It's not good luck. It's not a good look. No. Throw up. Not for anyone. No. But I find, and they would help me and I would help them. And the productivity in that branch went up 300%. And that's not a boast. That's the truth. Yeah. And it went up, and people were... when people left and I had other people coming in, I got the best out of them. And I said, this is how we play the game. This is how we work here. And I had that. And my area manager changed, and I had someone else who was a completely wrong one for the job. We've had them with us. Oh. You know, in this business as well, but not the same people. Interesting. But area managers. But the region manager would come in, and I'd ask him to have something. He goes, well, why haven't you had that done before? And I said, because he said I can't have it. And I wasn't going to sort of say, oh, no, because, you know, I understand we're having budgets and things like that. And I would get what I want. And he lost his job. Not because of that, but because of several things he'd done. But it was, you know, if you don't look after the people on the shop floor, you don't have a business. So he understood that. I understood that. But the area manager didn't. You know, he was just there to have the fast car and earn the money and just go around saying work and then disappear. Because he'd never done the job before. He was from a completely different background. He'd never done this, and I'd never done it. It was something that I jumped into because I'd taken a year out and I wanted something different to do. And I did that for a while, for 4 years, but then I found I was getting blinding headaches, so I had to leave. I just turned around and said, I'm leaving next week. Because Kim and Ben said, you look ill. And whether it was the chemicals or whatever, but I was getting blinding headaches. So when I left, I was fine. But it was an experience that I needed. It was something out of my comfort zone, completely out of my comfort zone. But I always maintain that if you're straight with people, you know, and don't try and hide things. You say, oh yeah, you want to do that, that's fine. And then give them a bollocking later on for doing it. You're not going to get the best out of people.
No.
If you use the people who have been doing the job a lot longer than you have and ask them questions, they're more likely to give you the answer. And if you do it and say, can you teach me to do that? And they'll say, yeah, sure. And you say, no, you're doing that wrong. Because you're always learning anyway. You're always learning. You know, you can't say, well, I've done 8 months and you've done 13 years in this job. I'm going to tell you how to do it. Which is what I found doing our job. People trying to tell me what to do. Which is why a lot of them don't. I'm not saying that I can't learn. Because, I mean, we've got new things like the tailor me, that kind of thing. The way it's done was different from how I would do a bespoke suit, but it's a way of making something special for someone. But then they started throwing in bombs into it. Like 30 days is a great time to do it. Doing it in 21 days is the wrong way of doing it. Because if you're asking for something to be made for you, and you can say, oh, we can now do it in three weeks. I say, well, I might as well just buy one off the peg and get it adjusted. Why am I paying the extra for something that sounds like it's being rushed?
Yeah.
And that's what you don't want to do. You want to make it feel more exclusive.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, because they're now talking about doing it in 2 weeks.
Well, it's the whole principle of delayed gratification.
Yes, yeah. That's what it is. You know, you've ordered a Rolls Royce with all these extras. Oh yeah, we got that one here.
And you're like,
yeah, but I want a new one. But that is a new one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point.
No, I don't want that.
Good point.
I want to wait the 6 months for my car to be delivered by truck outside my house.
Yeah.
With everything that I asked for.
Yeah.
And the aftercare service.
Yeah.
I don't want a suit that suddenly or a car is dropped off at my house 2 weeks, and I look at it and think, really? Now, even though it looks right, it doesn't feel right.
You expect a more exclusive sort of experience out of it.
Exactly, and you're demeaning it when you say, because they're now talking about being able to do a tailor me in 2 weeks. Yeah. And I think that's wrong. Yeah. Because that would be like you looking on the internet and going, I like that suit, I'll have it delivered.
Well, here's the thing. It would be the kind of thing, it's getting to the territory of you getting on a plane, flying to China,
having a suit made, have lunch.
It's not even that. It's like you get measured in the morning, come back the next day after getting pissed, and then you're doing it. You're like, oh yeah, and it costs you 50 quid. You're like, yeah, I expect that.
Yeah, and you don't want that. You want to make it more exclusive.
Yeah, I agree.
So give it the 30 days.
I think the important thing with what you were saying before about like, the team, going back a little bit about the team stuff. I mean, like an example that three uni guys we had who were here at the same time.
Yep.
They definitely their professionalism before and after work was definitely in question, in the fact that they turn up late, drunk,
yes,
hungover,
yep,
vomiting,
yep, maybe
high,
yep,
but they did a fucking awesome job and the customers loved them.
Oh yeah, of course they did.
So with that, you're like, I don't give a shit what you do before or after.
I mean, as I say, I worked with some people who I knew would go out for lunch and have a liquid lunch and then come back and still work.
Yeah.
You know, but so long as the job was done, I didn't care.
Yeah, and it's the job is done, and because we're in a customer facing environment, the customers are happy, I don't give a shit.
No, exactly. And this is why shops are important.
Yeah.
And professionalism is important up to a point, I think. I mean, I've had managers look at me, or people look at me for what I say to customers, and then being pulled aside saying, you can't say that. And I say, has the customer laughed? Yes. Have they paid their money? Yes.
Yes.
Were they happy when they left?
Yes.
Then I've done my job.
And also, this isn't their first trip here, mate.
No, exactly. Exactly. They expect it.
Yeah.
If I've worked with so many great people in this business, as well as other businesses. I've gone from making suits to running a pub. I was a civil servant for a while, so I've seen 3 different kinds of situations. But I've always come back to retail or menswear. But I've picked up things from different people from different companies along the way, and the best way to treat people and what you can get away with is, as soon as they walk through the door, you should be able to know what a customer's like. You know, recently it's been a lot more difficult, obviously, but you've got to be able to size up a customer and be professional about how you do it. And if you can make them laugh, it makes the experience so much easier. If they're too serious when they come in, whatever you put on them, there'll always be a slight block there, and they will say, I'll come back later. But if you can make them laugh, if you can make them feel like, you know, feel comfortable walking into your store, that's the way to do it. That's you're on a winner. If you jump on people as soon as they walk through the door, they're more likely just to wander and not want anything, because you've then got 3 or 4 people asking them the same question, and all they want to do is find the exit. But if you can engage them and chat with them, not necessarily about clothing, about anything else.
Absolutely.
You know, you're in, because they'll look for you and they'll say, excuse me. And then you start selling.
Yep.
Okay. But if you jump on them as soon as they come through, you might as well show them the exit, because they're not going to buy anything. They're not going to want to. You know, but I've learned a lot from working with a lot of good people, including yourself.
Stop it.
All right, I will. I lied. You can cut that bit out.
Yeah,
That's a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he paid me to say that.
Why are you telling them that?
He bought me a coffee.
You get a check in the mail.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. As long as he isolates for 14 days, he'll be all right.
Yeah. His name is Boris.
Boris, yeah. Hello. I'm in your garden shed. But yeah, the 3 guys that we're talking about, excellent. And when they left, I got from our Irish friend, I had a really nice email, and I also got Rory, who was the other one.
Yeah.
I got a company. He asked me would I give a reference.
Yes. Yeah.
And the company phoned me up, and I put the phone down on this company after them asking me a lot of questions about Rory, and then Rory phoned me 5 minutes later. He said, I got the job. And I said, yeah. He goes, what did you say to them? I said, I only told them the truth. Yeah. And, you know, he's doing what he wants to do. And I don't do that because I think, oh, all right, yeah, I'll lie about it. I told them the truth about them. Yeah. And that's and that's what I try and do 90% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, one day you'll tell me the truth, but you know, we'll get
there.
I
won't.
Yeah, we'll get
No, I won't. I won't even tell the wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. No, it's I just feel that you need to be, even if it hurts sometimes, you need to be honest with people.
Oh, mate, you crushed me when I first started. But hey, it made me better.
Well, your father said something when you were playing in was it Coffee and Cocktails? Was it?
Oh yeah.
He said he was introducing me to his brother, and he said, "Oh, this is Al. This is Matt's mentor." And I thought, I wasn't a mentor. I was just a mate. That's all right. But he saw it as something that taught you something, and I'd like to think I've tried that with a lot of people.
Definitely. I agree.
I do get asked the question, why am I not a manager for companies and things like that? Because I don't want the aggravation. If I could be a manager and do it my way, it's not a boast. I think I would get I would get better results from people than a lot of managers do, because I think you've got to give people a certain amount of rein and teach them instead of pointing the finger.
I agree.
If you do that all the time, you're going to lose lots of people. If you encourage people and you help people and they help you, then the environment is a lot better Even in the harder times, you can depend on these people. Then.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you ask a question and, could you do an extra hour? No. I need you back from your lunch break. No. And that's what you get. And then the animosity builds up, and then that's the team finished.
Yeah.
If you can get the best out of people, if you give as well as take, you will get the best out of anyone. In not only in business but in anything.
I agree.
But companies don't see it that way, and I think it's going to be a bit hard for a lot of companies that go back now, especially retail, because they're going to want to open the doors and hit the ground running, and I don't think it's going to happen with a lot of companies. People are going to be anxious to get out there and buy, but that they still want to feel welcome when they walk in. Not a case of just opening the doors, because they've been going to supermarkets. They've been going to DIY stores, so they know what stores are like. They've still got that feeling of shopping. But clothing is a completely different thing.
And because of, distancing not so much anymore, but because of the masks, it's the personal touch is going to be so vital. And it's going to be so much of a difference, because people, they might not even consciously know it, but people need that, and they will want that.
They do. They want to see a face.
Yeah. And if they can't, they'll want you to be attentive.
Exactly. But again, it goes back to that thing. You don't want to be jumping on them as soon as they come through. You still want to be able to give them the room to look around, because they haven't looked around a shop. They've looked online. They're swiping left and right to have a look, and I know that's a different one, isn't it?
That's just whatever you're on, mate.
Yeah. Mostly left. I don't want to rush them through. But yeah, you're clicking a box, and I mean, Zara's a prime example. There's the queues every time we come into town. The queues outside Zara for click and collect are ridiculous. But then they're back 2 days later returning the stuff. Yeah, because they've realised that they were a size 8, they're now a size 12, and they can't try it on.
And also, the part of it is, it's just something to do at the minute, isn't it?
It
gets them out of the fucking house.
It is. I mean, this is part of our walk. We come into town.
Yeah.
We do our shopping and then we go back home. But walking into town, that is part of our exercise.
Of course, yeah.
But even that gets boring.
Yeah.
You can only do so much. It's a strange world. It is a strange world.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what. Announcement we get tonight, and irrelevant what it says. We'll do some more walks and stuff together.
You will, and have coffee.
Indeed. Al, thank you very much, my friend.
Is that it?
It's been a true pleasure. I've got to kick you out of my house now.
All right, okay.